I have these two Filet Mignon cuts, beef tenderloins, that I've been marinating for 2 days. I cooked the third one. It came in a pack of 3. I cooked the third one the other day. I just laid it on top of some bacon and broiled it in the oven, and it was awesome. But we're going to actually wrap these today. And I'm going to turn on something in the background that hopefully don't get me hit with copyrights. But I have figured out that YouTube is so hell-bent on me uploading these videos that they allow me to mute certain songs and stuff through their app, YouTube Studio. They didn't always do that. They just started that today, actually. There was a small song, part of a song called Vampire some shit from Nick and Nora's Infinite playlist that I was watching last night on my peach barbecue sauce video. And they actually let me mute it out. I don't know what it took away from the video, but the ingredients are there. So really that's all you need. I mean, it's just a simmer basically for an hour, hour and a half with those ingredients. So if you can't figure out that, you don't even really need to watch the video. But I would appreciate it if you would hit like on the video if you've got the recipe or the ingredient list, and hit subscribe on the channel if you hadn't done that yet. I have a lot of subscribers now, but not a lot of likes. Even my friends, I'll tell them, hey, and I have recently acquired some friends, you know, like, I was staying away from everybody because I was really starting to hate people. But they didn't have anything to offer me. You know, other people, they didn't have anything to offer me. So I was just staying away from them. But lately, you know, just the having them around like as company it's been pretty nice. And it's only maybe an hour or two a day, but that's better than my soliloquies by myself all day, or my YouTube videos by myself all day, or whatever. I started gardening again. I've started getting my stuff ready for spring, but now we got a cold front that hit this morning. So I'm looking at the beautiful sun outside and freezing at the same time. So I'm going to be making a few videos today. My friend who quit her job because they wouldn't let her off work because her dad was dying. Her dad died. So I'm going to make her husband a blueberry cobbler later on today, and I'll film that. But I'm going to wrap these in bacon and show you how to wrap a filet mignon here in a second. It's pretty simple. But I have been in the house a lot because of the weather, and I'm getting, frankly, very sick of it. I want to be out in the sun, but that wind is cutting. It was 29 degrees here this morning. I had to bring all my fucking seeds in that I'd planted, which now all my pots are sitting in here in the living room floor. My living room's not huge. I live in a big RV. Never planned on living in an RV until I was, you know, like my great-grandpa's age, if I made it that long. But here I am. So I got to make use of space, and my plants are kind of pissing me off right now that I even started them so early. They could have waited. So I've been staying inside and thinking a lot. Thinking about, you know, I don't know, shit echoes in my head all the time. People tell me things and I remember it forever. And that's one of the positive things about me, is that I don't forget anything. I don't forget people, and I don't forget what people said. So I get to do a lot of introspect, and I think I became such an intelligent person as a child, because I didn't become an intelligent person as an adult. I became an intelligent person when I was young. And it's because I don't forget what people say. I definitely remember what people tell me about themselves and everything else, stories they've told me. Even if they think I'm not listening. I'm always listening. I'm always watching. I'm watching more than I'm listening. These filet mignons, I've marinated them in Allegro marinade and some steakhouse seasoning for the last couple days. About a day and a half, 2 days. And we got hickory bacon here. But someone told me, a woman told me, she's the manager at the place she works, and she said she basically has to babysit men all day. But the problem with that is that it's the automotive industry. That's where she's the manager. And, you know, since automotive industries existed, men were the dominant ones there. It's not because women were too weak or whatever. And yet, possibly, I mean, you know, physically weak. I'm not saying mentally. But it might have had something to do with their physical weaknesses, but you know, that's like me going to let's say Joann Fabrics and getting a job where women have dominated the fabric industry for hundreds of years. And the automotive industry has been around, what, since 1905, I believe, maybe earlier than that. If I went to Joann Fabrics and got a job as the manager, those old crotchety women are not going to listen to me. I'm going to have to babysit them because they're going to do less work. Because they don't want me being there. I'm the problem. You see? Same thing goes with vice versa. It's kind of something people don't think about because they think everybody's equal now, and I'm here to tell you everybody is not equal. Everybody was born with the same chances. You know, I'm sure there's instances where someone's handicapped or mentally retarded or whatever, and you know, they don't quite have the same chances everyone else has, but they have the same books to read, and they do have the same chances. They can become as mentally fit as anyone else if they try hard enough, unless they have a brain, you know, some sort of brain injury or brain damage. But if I go into a woman's domain and try to be the manager, I'm not going to be treated with respect. They're going to disrespect me as much as they can, and that's the facts, and it's always been like that. It's something people really need to inflect and reflect on, and you know, do some introspective work on themselves when they feel like they need to go babysit someone else. Those men at those jobs where it was dominated by men for 200 years, they don't need to be babysitted. They were doing fine before women came into the workplace. And I'm telling you, as a veteran of the United States Navy, that I was on the first ship that was co-ed ever. And that was in 1995. And it caused nothing but problems. And most of those women got dishonorable discharges, got pregnant, fraternized, got kicked out for fraternization, and they caused more problems for the men than anything. So for a woman to think that she's not the problem and that, you know, guys need to be babysat in a fully male profession, you know, up until 10 years ago, it's just kind of asinine. It doesn't make a lot of sense. Now, I have these 2 filet mignons I'm going to let come to room temperature. I have 2 New York strips, and a T-bone that I've been marinating the same amount of time as I've marinated those. I'm going to let these also come to room temperature, I believe. Then I'm going to cook them and probably make something out of that. I've been making a lot of beef jerky lately. But I have a ribeye right here that's mine. It's a $15 ribeye. I'm gonna cook that, and that's gonna be for me today. I'm gonna make some eggs with it. This other stuff, except the filet mignons, I'm probably gonna take to my friends down the road at the barbershop. And later on today, I'm gonna make penne curry. I've got all the stuff together, and I'm probably gonna end up taking that to my Indian friends at the truck stop, because I can't cook a little bit of something, and there's no point to it, really. I mean, if I've got stuff to make a big, huge meal and nobody to serve it to. So I'm going to help some more people out today and take them some stuff that they might not get to eat every day. And it's because I can. And I try to help as many people as I can within my means, and my means are pretty okay usually. I don't necessarily have a problem acquiring ingredients. Last night I told my friend I was going to make her husband this blueberry cobbler. I couldn't find blueberries I went to 3 stores. They had berry blends. Everybody had berry blends. Finally, I looked upon a big sack of wild blueberries. So it's going to be a wild blueberry cobbler, and it's going to be awesome. So there will be a video up for that. But for right now, we're going to let these come to room temp. I've had them sitting out a while I took a shower, but they're still not room temperature. And you can skewer them with anything. They usually use those metal pins. I've got little bamboo skewers here. And then we're going to cook these. I may even set a weight on top of them. I'm not sure yet. Or maybe put a lid over it and cook them slower than usual, because I don't like my meat raw in the middle. But we're going to come up with some good stuff today. And hopefully I don't talk all day long, but if I do, you can bet your ass it's going to be knowledgeable stuff. It's going to be stuff I've thought out before I ever open my mouth. But I had to make my stock for my penne curry. I made that yesterday. I didn't have chicken stock, so I made stock out of broth, and it's dehydrated mushrooms, a full white onion, a cube of Asian bouillon with a little bit of fish in it, and chicken, I believe. So it's thick and good. I blended it up, pureed it. It's going to be awesome for this dish. I've got a red bell pepper, a yellow bell pepper. I've got a white onion. I've got green onions. I've got penne curry paste. I've got lemongrass. Now that right there is probably going to go in my rice unless I make noodles. And I do have these Asian vegetable noodles that I may use instead. I don't know yet. I may even go up to the truck stop and ask those guys would they rather have rice or noodles, because I'm basically just cooking it for them. I took really good care of my kids. My kids ate like this. You know? My kids ate this stuff. My kids ate whatever they wanted except for junk food. They didn't get to watch TV. And hopefully that taught them a little bit. Hopefully my kids are still smart, even though they've been introduced to a bunch of dummies since me. I don't know. That keeps me going, because I know that certain people are raised to you know, they don't have conscience. They don't have a conscience. Certain people have no conscience. And those kind of people are the ones who feel bad when they get caught doing something wrong. And then there's people like me that have done shit wrong in the past and they still feel bad. They don't carry it around and let it hang like a dark cloud over their head, you know, because we reflect on it and we don't do it again. And then there's the type of people who do the same shit over and over and over, knowing it's bad, and then just feel sorry for themselves and the people they hurt. And that's, you know, that's two different kinds of people on earth. And unfortunately, you know, those people are usually drug addicts and alcoholics. There's not a lot of hope for them until they want hope. You know, there's not help until they want help. They can't be fixed by anyone. But you can encourage it nicely, or you can blatantly make fun of them every time you see them. And if they don't leave, they'll eventually get straight. I've done it myself. I used to make alcohol and give it out for free just like I do this food. And when they overindulged, I would record their drunk asses acting like stupid idiots. And I would show my kids, hey, that's what alcohol does to you. And my kids learned from it. I'd post that shit to Facebook. They would get embarrassed and they would stop. They would stop acting like idiots. And it was a really beautiful thing that I was doing. People thought I was horrible for doing it, and I don't. I still don't think I was horrible because I've helped way too many people. My landlord, he just got diagnosed with thyroid disease. I'm going to fix that. I can show him how to fix thyroid disease. It's the way he eats. It's the chicharrones. It's all the horrible shit, all the beer drinking and all that shit they do that they think is fun. That shit causes disease, and it's not fun. That's like me thinking cigarettes are good for me, even though I smoke. Like, I know I need to quit smoking, but, you know, I'll do it on my own time, or when somebody bothers me about it. If somebody was in my life bothering me about it every time I lit a cigarette saying, do you really need that right now? I'd stop. I've stopped smoking for years at a time. I quit drinking for years at a time, you know. I drink when I want to drink. But those cigarettes, those son of a bitches they're killers. And I don't have anybody really encouraging me not to do it. Quite the opposite. If I need cigarettes, I can just go get them, you know, and that's not a good thing. I have friends right now that every time I see them, they're those guys, you know. You have a cigarette, you know? And I wish I was one of those guys right now, because I never would. But anyway, enough for the lecture. You see how beautiful these things look? These are gorgeous. Look at that. I mean, I went out to Noonday Store the other day, and they had these. They weren't nearly this pretty. They had fancier little metal pins through them. But we're going to keep that fat side down. You see how this is lean? And then we got a fat side on the bottom. We're going to keep that fat side down. And these are pretty much room temperature. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start cooking these on medium. We're going to cook them on medium. And hope for the best. And then later on, I'm going to bust out that chicken and all those vegetables and start cutting it up to make my curry. And I'm the only one that's going to be eating on it, and it's going to be probably 3 pounds or more of curry when I get done. So I'm going to have to find somebody to share with. And so far, everybody that I've given away samples to have subscribed to my channel. I have like 40 subscribers, and about half of them got free samples. I had to buy my subscribers. I'm not even gonna lie about it. But once, you know, you can say, hey, I'm a YouTuber, I make a I have a cooking channel. I make stuff on YouTube, and nobody gives a fuck, honestly. But if you give them a bottle of hot sauce, or a bottle of salsa, or a bottle of barbecue sauce, or take them a steak that you made, or, you know, it's a different story. Then they're like, oh shit, this guy knows what he's doing, and they'll subscribe. So that's what we're doing today, is we're gonna make a bunch of shit. We're gonna make all this meat. I gotta cook this chicken, I gotta cook this T-bone, this ribeye, both these filet mignons that are starting to, see that bubble down there? They're starting to bubble a little bit. We're gonna cook these up, and we're just gonna go be nice on a Sunday. That's what I miss about my grandma, was Sundays. She cooked for everybody. So we're gonna cook for a lot of, you know, as many people as I know right now, and just try to be kind, try to be nice people in the world, and know our place. You know, if you're not happy where you are, you're not in the right place. And I'm just now getting to the point to where I can even be happy here, because I honestly never thought I'd be living in a fifth wheel. You know, I really didn't. The trailer house was bad enough, and because I had it better than this. I always had it great, actually. Living in Dallas, I was famous in Dallas for my acrylic art. I did better than anyone, any other artist in Dallas. I made more money than them in a shorter amount of time. Also, they had to work for years to get where I was at in months, and they still didn't make as much money as me in those years. And I'm not bragging, that's the truth. There's still people in Dallas that know who I am, remember me, just from my artwork. My artwork's all over the world, though. My artwork was purchased by foreign nationals, you know. I put it by the airport for a reason. And the stuff that didn't have a price, the stuff I put up not for sale and donated to certain restaurants, establishments, bars that I liked to go hang out at and wanted to see my work at because it was influenced by that location, that stuff all got stolen. And that was one of the biggest forms of flattery that I've ever experienced, for sure. You know, I was selling my artwork for cheap, $7.50, $9.50, $11.50. But if I put not for sale on it, they swiped it like Swiper on Dora the Explorer, and it was pretty awesome. I got mad at the first time, and then I got over it and realized, you know, what was going on, and took into perspective how the world was actually flattering me with that shit. So I'm gonna pepper this on top. It's got enough salt in it from the marinade. I don't usually marinate meat, but I'm getting really sick of just eating plain, even if they're choice cuts. I mean, it gets kind of old. And I could stick some rosemary in this, I could do whatever, but I'm just cooking these to put off to the side and eat on during the day, or give to someone else if they turn out pretty enough. And then we'll get into the cobbler. I've never made a cobbler. I do have a glass pie plate now that I got yesterday. I could roll out my own dough. It's only 3 ingredients to make your own pie crust. But I don't think I'm going to do that because I was actually requested to make this cobbler before her dad died. So now that her dad died, I'll make what her husband wants to eat and take it to him or whatever. And I got enough blueberries to where I can make another pie filling and make another video on that because I deleted the other one. And that was my grandma's method, so it needs to go back online in case I die. You know, my kids may watch it someday and want to know how to do it. So that's my plans for the day. And I need to probably start prepping this other stuff. Now I'm going to cover this. And I'm going to turn the heat down just a little to medium low. And just cover that for a while and sear it on one side. Then I'm going to flip it. Now with that, the Penang curry, they suggest you serve crackers with it. I've never had it. Somebody requested it. And I still haven't gotten around to making it because it's got some very strange ingredients, honestly. Like some odd stuff that I don't normally keep around. But I got a knockoff of my favorite crackers. They're chicken flavored, and it's going to be a chicken curry. So I don't need prawn crackers for my curry. I'm going to have those. And coconut milk. I accidentally got light coconut milk, but that's going to be okay. We got this red Penang curry. It says 3 tablespoons. I guess that's probably about all that's in that can. It says if you don't want it as hot, use 1. But I know the guys at the station down there eat hot shit. They're real Indians from India, so I know what kind of shit they eat. I had a lot of friends that were Indian in Florida. Got fish sauce. Got green onions, shallots, you know. I got some of these little packs of Jif Creamy and some Peter Pan Honey Roast Creamy. I'm gonna add that to it. Got limes. Seems pretty simple. I got some lemongrass in the freezer. I'm gonna make the rice or the noodles with. But basically, I think you just fry the chicken, add the paste and the coconut milk. It's basically a braise, I think. I haven't really even looked yet. I'll do that when I'm done here. But I got plenty to do until then. And I plan on spending my day this way. So, oh yeah. That's now our bacon's starting to shrink. I should probably check one. Almost burned them up. Not really. That's how I like them though. But I am going to turn the heat down and cook it the rest of the way, all the way on low, so the other side doesn't get like that. Because remember, this had the fat side. The bottom has the lean. We don't want to burn that bacon. So I'm going to turn it down to low and finish these off. And they'll be ready to eat. And if I wasn't eating these, I wouldn't serve these to whoever I was serving them to. But I made these for me to eat. That's one of the best cuts of beef you can get besides a ribeye. Well, I think it may be ribeye. A beef tenderloin. Where else would they get it from? But anyway, you get the point. They smell fantastic. And a lot of the dark stuff, that's not meat burnt. That's the marinade I used. I told you salt will do that. The marinade had some salt in it. It had some particulate of garlic and things like that. I've told y'all that stuff will burn. Well, that's what I smell is garlic burning, not meat. So these are going to be really, really good. They got about probably 5 more minutes on this second dot on low, above low, and they'll be done. See, that's what it's supposed to look like, and that's fine, because like I said, I'm eating these. Ain't nobody gonna get these. And They are not burnt, even though they look kind of dark. That's what you, when you marinate things, that's what happens. Especially if you cook it on too high of a heat. But those are pretty much, I mean, they're done enough for the average consumer. So I'm going to turn this off and put these off and let them cool, let them rest, let them carry over cook, because they will keep cooking after I take them off this cast iron. Alright, now I'm going to turn this heat off until my ribeye is to room temp. Alright, now I have cleaned my skillet a little bit because the marinade did burn. Now you see this ribeye? If I was just going to cook this for somebody, I'd throw it all on the grill, impressive like that. But I'm cooking this for me. This is my cut. None of my buddies down the road are going to get this. Alright, now you see that? I'm going to make stock with that. I'm going to put that and make beef stock. That's what my ribeye is going to look like. Okay. I'm going to boil that with onions and probably celery and a little bit of bouillon and things like that. But I'm not going to cook it on my ribeye steak. I don't want to pick that off. It can be used for other things. I've got some potatoes up here I could even cook it with and make them 100 times better than they would be without it. Now, I'll take my bacon grease container here. Okay, now I have this heat on high. I'm going to turn it down to medium high. You notice I didn't marinate the ribeye. I marinated the New York strip and the T-bone over here. But man, you can't mess up a ribeye. You just cook a ribeye and it's good. It's just good however it is. I don't care if you burn it or... I'll almost eat one of those rare. I mean, that's just a good cut of meat. All you need on it's pepper. So, I'm going to pepper mine. Do not salt it yet. You salt it when it's finished. My barbecue sauce I made last night turned out awesome. I could have went heavier on the peach, or added more orange soda and cooked it down and reduced it a little. But I mean, that's just me. I'm my worst critic. That's me saying that, not somebody else. When I take this to people, they're gonna say, "Oh my God, that's good." I mean, it is good. I don't know what God they worship, but it is good. I'm gonna put this, turn this heat down to medium. I'm gonna cook this slow. It's got some good fat still in it. I didn't cut off too much. I just cut the bone and the fat, the big hunk of fat off. But we're gonna reduce that, and we're gonna make a reduction of tallow. And these back here that are marinating, they're still cold, so they're not even ready to cook yet. And what we're going to do with them is cook them in the Dutch oven with a lid on it, on low. I think that's what I'm going to do with them. I could change my mind at any minute when it comes to cooking. I guess y'all have noticed if you paid attention. I want to show you the bottom here. That ain't done enough for me yet. Alright, see, that's perfect for me. I don't know how you like yours, but I'm going to let the other side get a little more done than this. And then I'm going to eat this. Get out that, boy. There's going to be some good stuff. I may even make a couple eggs to go with it. And that's on medium heat. And that's a 1 inch, I believe. A 1 inch cut. Looks like maybe a 1 1/4 inch cut. I had somebody ask me why I had cows one time. This one steak's $15. Just this one piece. That one bowl that I had probably had 13 of these on him. And that's just the ribeye. That's not counting all the other parts that, most people buy. The less exclusive ones. I still haven't figured that one out. That was one of the dumbest questions anybody's ever asked me. Hopefully they've been to the meat counter lately and thought about what they said. I don't know. People like that, though, they stay trapped in a bubble. They'll never get it. If they got it, they wouldn't ask, When I was down in Corpus as a 20-year-old, there was a group of folks I hung out with, painted houses with, that taught me how to paint houses, and they used to say, if you have to ask, you wouldn't understand. So I've dealt with a lot of those people in my life since I was 20. That's 28 years ago. I'm now 48, and I've dealt with 1,000 of those people that just wouldn't understand. They get stuck in their little frame, and it's like that song Freeze Frame by Jay Giles Band. They're just there forever. I'm going to turn this down to low and stick a lid on it. And this right here I made the other night on a whim for my sandwich because my sandwich seemed boring. And I love honey mustard on certain things. And I just thought it'd be good on that sandwich. So I took roasted garlic, spicy honey butter, and I added mustard. Mustard's got a very high vinegar content. So this would can. So I'm thinking about canning some of this honey mustard, because it is not your average honey mustard. This shit is amazing. It's unlike any other condiment I've ever put on a sandwich, for sure. So might do some of that later too, because I have a whole jar of mustard over here I need to kill out. I don't usually keep ketchup and mustard unless I'm making barbecue sauce, and when I got leftovers I need to figure out what to do with them, because I don't like having them around. You can ruin anything with ketchup. Mustard, what does it go in potato salad, you know? Now that's how I like my ribeye. Y'all say, oh shit, you just burnt your steak up, but now it gets some salt. I'm going to salt that on that side. I'm going to flip it back over. I'm going to wash it around in that black pepper infused grease with my salt. And I'm going to salt this side. And that's all a ribeye steak needs. If you need anything more than that, I don't know. Your palate's fucked. But that's what a ribeye is like right there. So we're going to set this off to the side. Now we got 2 filet mignons and a ribeye there to eat. And we're going to wait on this to come to room temperature and start working on these.